Good morning, I'm Michael Williams. My guest today, Carl Juste, a longtime and internationally acclaimed Miami Herald photojournalist. His travels have taken him across the globe, including Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iraq. The winner of the Robert F. Kennedy Journalism Award, Juste and his family fled the Duvalier dictatorship in Haiti and settled in Miami. He's now one of 4 journalists being featured in a new HBO documentary film titled Endangered. Premiered at the 2022 Tribeca Film Festival in New York, the documentary looks at ever-growing threats to freedom of the press, including in the United States. Carl Juste joined me from New York for our interview. Carl, thanks for joining me from Manhattan. Much appreciated. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much, Mike, for having me. Appreciate it, too.
The official synopsis for Endangered reads, an official selection of the 2022 Tribeca Film Festival, Endangered chronicles a year in the life of 4 journalists, you among them, of course, living and working in democratic countries where freedom of the press has historically been a given. A given no more, Carl? Talk about how you came to be part of this project and talk about the thesis behind it.
Wow. Well, apparently the 2 producers and directors, Heidi and Rachel, they sent a team down to Miami and hung around the Miami Herald for a while and selected 2 or 3 people on the Herald staff. And then that was narrowed down to myself. And then for a year and a half, they followed me on assignments, both local and national stories. And the story rang really true to my heart because being Haitian and leaving Haiti because my dad was falsely accused by a dictator, Duvalier, and his system did not want truth tellers. And coming to New York and then moving to Miami, it really shaped my worldview about democracy and its importance. I think as an immigrant, we kind of see it with an extra nuance than people who live here. So it paralleled a lot of the things in my values. It examines the importance of the Fourth Estate, but it examines it from different points, different places. But it seemed like we always telling the same story. We're always telling a story about how there's been this siege on the freedom of the press. That right is one of the few rights that are guaranteed in the Constitution. And it's one of those rights that if we lose it, then the Constitution is no more than just a piece of paper.
Carl, in your work in that year they spent with you as they put together the documentary, did you feel and sense and see in a very concrete way the continued erosion of those freedoms, those values in ways big and or small? Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, just listen to the administration's rhetoric about what the press, the function of the press, calling us the enemy of the state, the whole idea or misconception of fake news. And on that level, when it's coming from the leader of the free world, it makes you pause. And also, Black Lives Matter was in full swing, when COVID was in full swing, and all these things kind of coming into one huge blow up. And then you had the elections. So it had all these forces, and there's four journalists, and we seem to be saying the same stories, but through different lenses. Out of Brazil, it was a print journalist dealing with being called, promiscuous, that her ability to get stories because she slept with people. In Mexico, it was a photojournalist like myself, and she's on the attack. She documented protests of women's civil rights, and there was plenty of murders of women being killed and domestic violence, and she covered that protest and also covered COVID. And in Tulsa, it was the Trump administration and the election and the Trump nation and all the misinformation they were being fed. And for myself, it was all 4. It was Black Lives Matter in terms of civil disobedience and civil protests. It was COVID. It was the elections. And And it was this idea we are operating as moving targets. We're punching bags for those who are powerful. But you know what? All four of us can take the punches. We don't wear no S on our chests. We do the work. We're ordinary people trying to tell extraordinary stories. Not even tell extraordinary stories, retell extraordinary stories. And working for the Herald for the last 31 years, the Herald gave their full backing and confidence. There's a point where in the movie, I'm not giving anything away, and I say, well, when is documentaries going to come online? And they say, well, they don't know. I said, well, I hope I'm still here. The pressures of modern day journalism is intense. Financing, doing these big stories and small stories, it requires a lot of manpower. It requires a lot of funding.
You talk about the Trump administration, and certainly that administration's critics will argue he's supercharged this distrust of media, but others will rightly argue on the right and the left, this has been an erosion we've seen going on for years. I would hear it on election stories dating back many, many years, depending on what side you were covering that day, the other side becoming more and more demonstrative, I'll put it that way, about what you were doing. We had one woman, and I wanted to ask you this. You've diagnosed part of the problem. I heard one of the women in the documentary say, I'm not going to read a newspaper if it doesn't share my point of view. So the question is, Carl, how do we begin to pull back and I hear that all the time, and I know you do too. How do we begin to have any common ground, any common conversation when more and more people say, I'm going to silo where I go, I'm not going to read or listen to anything unless it presupposes my point of view? How do we get through this? I suppose I'm asking you as a veteran who's seen this, who's covered stories from Pakistan to Afghanistan, Iraq, your native Haiti, of course, and many other places. Scary times. How do we begin to fix it?
I think we got to talk about the things that we do agree on. And freedom is something that we all can wrap our heads around. May not like how you say it, but I'll protect your right to say it. And I think if we can wrap our heads around that and say, okay, look, let's have honest conversations. You know, we have the culture wars. A lot of the stuff is fueled by the culture wars. And we need to stop talking at each other and talk with one another. And that's difficult. This country needs to have a really, really difficult conversation about race, about sexual identity, about, mass shootings. They're tough conversations to have. And why do we need to have these conversations? Because we need to protect not only our democracy, but our young and young population and the population which cannot defend itself. It depends on us, those who are able-bodied and able-minded, to defend those who can't defend themselves. And democracy is a reflection of who we are. The level of democracy we have in this country is really a reflection of us. It's not politicians. It's not judicial system. It's not the executive branch. It's not the judicial branch. It is us.
And Carl, let me ask you, what can the media, and I know media encompasses a lot, but we're not without our commissions and omissions and sins. What do we need to be doing better to continue to share and shed that light and do it in a way where people know we're doing good, hard-hitting, analytical, thoughtful journalism without fear or favor for either side?
Well, we need to stop picking at low-lying fruit. We really need to understand that stories have nuances and stories have implications. Even in my work, I continue to investigate the same story over and over again at a different angle, from a different angle. I think we need to continue doing that. Perfect example, we won the Pulitzer this year for the Surfside Tower collapse. We dug in, we looked at it from so many different places and was able to put faces and emotions and facts to that story. Regardless where the facts went, we just followed it. And I think we should have with every story. I mean, it's important to see ourselves in the stories that we retell. It's important to see our community in the stories that we retell. And if we can't see ourselves, then we're not doing our job. Because at the end of the day, we're not talking about strangers. We're talking about ourselves.
Carl Juste, Miami Herald photographer for many years. I and a number of my colleagues in Miami for many years said, if you want to know where the story is, find out where Carl is. You've done groundbreaking work for many, many decades. Proud to call you a colleague. And this is a documentary, Endangered, that everyone needs to see. We can never take for granted any of our freedoms, including freedom of the press, including putting a light on ourselves, but also in our communities. And I encourage everybody, of course, to see it. Carl, thank you for giving us a brief overview. I know you are a busy man in New York during premiere week for this, but we really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and stay safe.
Carl Juste, Miami Herald photojournalist, Endangered, the HBO documentary. Look for it coming out late this month. Up next, Brian Crowley, longtime Florida political beat writer for the Palm Beach Post, adds his perspective.